Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Comic Book Cover, episode 61.
61.
61. I'm Aaron.
I'm Fanboy Russ.
I'm Rob.
I'm Jesse.
And we're going to be talking about some cool comics coming out
We
next
have a
week.
lot coming out this week. This is kind of crazy. Like, every week I'm having to check my wallet and just like, do I have enough to afford this? I don't know if I have enough.
Yeah, last week was actually a better week
It was.
as far
It
as...
was. It was
Marvel
amazing.
is stepping up.
Oh,
Like,
this
they
their
are.
fall schedule is.
They're still putting out a lot of crappy books that's kind of a waste of paper, but they're putting out a lot of super cool ones too.
Don't worry. I mean, just think.
We're
of
going
this-
to talk about cool ones.
Just think of it this way: you can build. They can build up all the unbeatable Squirrel Girl, all that stuff, and then we can use that for firewood later.
And Rob can't talk about Unbeatable Squirrel.
We'll save that for.
That's just the running joke of this. You cannot talk. You are not allowed. All right, let's get right into it.
Oh man,
We
look
at
at that.
Oh, yes, see there we
See?
go. That's why.
Can't get it going.
Man, I do need to use the bathroom now. Oh, yeah, he just reminded me.
Marvel takes so many hits. Okay.
Jason Morrison, Chad Williams, and I, when we lived together in Louisville, we
Yeah.
would run out of toilet paper and we used the telephone book. I so wish that I had these books now. 'Cause
know.
that telephone book probably had more good information
That does,
than
yeah.
that book will ever
I would
have.
agree. I mean, come on, Jesse.
I mean, I
you
can't
even-
defend it, but at the same time, it's like, don't be that mean. I'm like,
Oh,
No,
Anyway.
come on.
She talks to squirrels. Come on.
all right. Let's move on past.
She eats nuts.
Let's move past she who
That's
should
like
not
in
be
a
named.
Beck
Okay,
song,
let's
isn't
move
it?
past. Let's move past she who should not be named. Okay. We've got first up, all new X-Men number 15. That one's coming out. We've got this is one I'm going to talk about. Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows.
Jerry Conway is writing this book. Next to Stan Lee, he is the Spider-Man writer. It makes me excited. to read it.
I'm excited for it. I mean, I've never really read a Parker family story before. I thought it's always just been Peter Parker.
I read it during
So,
Secret
I like
Wars.
Jerry Conway better than I do Stan Lee, honestly.
Honestly,
Like,
yeah, totally.
Well, then-
Stan Lee came up with him and Ditko and Romita Jr. or Romita Sr. came up with some great characters.
But Romita Sr. and Conway's run was the run.
Yeah, that was what like
Death of Gwen Stacy, all that stuff.
Death of Gwen Stacy, just some of the best Spider-Man
The
stories
thing I wanna
that
know,
weren't
though,
like overwritten.
Like, is this going to be considered like outside of canon
Yes.
Amazing Spider-Man right now? So I mean, it's like its own independent
That's
story.
its only drawback, in my opinion, is it's like it's not really essential to anything going on in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. I still think it's cool. Though.
It's
I
definitely-
I would definitely read it.
It's cool because it's Jerry Conway.
I mean, like the characters you've got MJ back. She's married to Peter. They've had a kid. They all have spider powers.
Fixing a thing that some of us
They've done
still
that
find
before,
wrong.
haven't
Yeah,
they?
it was like that for the Renew Your Vows Secret Wars miniseries.
Moving off that, we got Avengers 1.1. You wanted to talk about this one.
This is probably the book with Marvel right now, aside from the Steve Rogers. But
Yeah.
the thing that makes this book cool, in my opinion, is I hate it. DC does it too. A lot of times they'll change up the Justice League lineup. I'm sorry, none of us really want to see any other lineup than that core.
Yeah, the core people.
Same thing goes for the Avengers. I know it seems like it's moving things along and making it more interesting when you change members out, but look at it right now. Who's an original member on the Avengers team? I read the book and it was cool and I liked the way it was written.
Technically, Vision.
Not really.
Not really. No.
he wasn't an original.
No, not
member.
But he's early enough to where it's
Hey,
like he is
he is an Avenger. Like
he's the most Avenger member of this group.
Yeah, they really are kind
evil
of cleaned out.
Hercules is.
He
you
was
know,
more
He's
of a
another
West
old
Coast
school, but
Avenger,
he's-
but yeah.
I mean, well, before there was West Coast Avengers,
was on
there's-
the
yeah,
team,
the
yeah.
'70s Avengers. Yeah,
But
he was
usually
on
when
it.
you think of Hercules, you think of the West Coast Avengers.
So this is like the old stories, but told in a new way.
Yes.
Which is, I mean,
When
you
you've
can always
got-
do roll with that.
You've got Quicksilver, you've got of
Hawkeye.
course, yeah, Hawkeye's on there. You have Thor, you have Captain America, you have Iron Man, Ant-Man.
This is basically
Wasp.
the second generation Avengers.
Yes,
Mhm.
the
That's the best way
coolest
to say it.
lineup.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
thought. Yeah, I think so too.
So definitely one to watch out for.
I definitely would watch out for this
I
one.
would too. We've got Avengers K Volume 3, Avengers Disassembled trade paperback, Black Panther World of Wakanda number 1. This is the other one I want to talk about. Captain America Steve Rogers number 7. I love this comic. This is like
Mhm.
one of the best comics right now.
I would
out
agree.
there. Straight up, you can't beat this.
It's the comic that they have that can actually take it, to any of DC stuff.
It's
Unfortunately,
good.
it's just
The-
one really major title.
It's a small
to take.
synopsis. You got Red Skull is marching across Europe, and Shield is coming apart at the seams. Basically, Steve's manipulations are finally taking hold. Steve opens the door, and the secret behind it will shake the Marvel Universe to its core. And I'm curious about what the secret is. I don't know what the secret could be. But I have to wonder, because there's been hints about kind of like this, like little dots of it. Jessica Jones has come across a secret of the Marvel Universe. That, like, she's like gone rogue to hide. Like, she's even hiding her own kid to hide it that much. You got Steve Rogers has found some kind of secret. There's some stuff that apparently they're digging out or fleshing out that's like going to change things up.
Well, maybe it would be like some big resetting event, and they could start doing things right for a change.
If I had to guess, I think
Marvel
it's going to
rebirth.
take
Marvel
place
rebirth.
with Marvel's Illuminati. I mean, they've really been behind all the major events in some way, shape, or form. The original Civil War, Secret Wars.
Their part in Secret Wars was freaking awesome.
Yeah,
It was pretty good.
So I think maybe there's probably something along,
There's something hidden in there. Maybe I don't know, like if anything I can think
or
of.
maybe they know
Captain.
Captain's secret.
Someone might. I mean, there's someone. He cannot. I mean, as good as he is at his job, he cannot hide it forever. Someone's gonna dig him up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this story. This is one of the coolest stories Marvel's run in a while.
It's always good.
It's really exciting.
Moving on, we got Civil War II, the Choosing Sides trade paperback, and the Gods of War trade paperback. So those side stories, if someone wanted to catch up and read those, you can now get them all together in one book. They'll all be there together. We got Clone Conspiracy #2 of 5 coming out. That one's a great
Oh
story coming
yeah,
out.
definitely looking forward to that.
We got Daredevil 13. That one's
Looking
coming
forward
out.
to that.
That's a good one. Dark Tower, the drawing of the 3, the Sailor #2. That's a mouthful. Deadpool Back in Black.
Yeah, you can just go right past that.
And Deadpool versus Gambit. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, enough Deadpool already.
Gwenpool #8. The new Invincible Iron Man. That was one with the Ironheart. We're gonna pass over that. We're gonna see how that goes. Marvel Masterworks Doctor Strange Volume 7 hardcover and the direct market variant edition, both for $75. The Guardians of the Galaxy #14, as well as the Digest Volume 3 trade paperback for $10. I mean, I don't know how big those are, but that's a good way to catch up. Mosaic #2, new guy's getting another issue finally. That one's a good one. New hero, I'm not too keen on him, but still kind of cool to have a new hero.
Yeah, I do like that aspect. You do have to create new characters.
You have to do. Power Man Iron Fist #10.
No, let's not even go there.
Rocket Raccoon and Groot Volume 2 Civil War 2 trade paperback. So I'm assuming it's like a collection of their issues involved in Civil War 2. Runaways Volume 1 Pride and Joy trade paperback. Solo #2. No,
Nobody.
I never
cares.
got into Solo. Did anyone?
No.
No.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
apparently nobody else does either.
It's just kind of one of those.
They're really just shelf decorations.
Pretty much. Spider-Man Deadpool #11. You got that kind of Star Wars Poe Dameron #8. You wanted to talk about that
Yeah,
one?
if you like the Force Awakenings, this is that prequel to that story.
Right.
It's basically it has all the characters in it except for Rey and Kylo Ren. All the rest of them are there.
Nice.
That's pretty
So
Is it in the same vein, kind of like Rogue One is, or is it separate?
separate.
Okay, that's what I figured. Which makes sense. I mean, you want to have a separate story. You don't want to ride on one and something goes wrong, or something like that. Last couple here, we got Unbelievable Gwenpool Volume 1.
No.
Gwenpool.
No.
Uncanny Avengers #16. This is the issue I told you guys about a few months ago. The Hulk is resurrected.
I thought that was going to be in 15.
No, the 15 was a lead up to it. 16 is where he is resurrected, and I was so big on that and everything. It's just crazy. Like it's a pretty dramatic issue. I almost want to pick. I might pick it up independently just to have it.
Yeah, I'm gonna read. I read the last issue. I'm gonna read this issue.
It's worth reading for sure. Especially, I mean, like I said,
Cable's
dramatic
also
thing.
working behind the scenes. I think if anybody has any clue that something's not right about Steve Rogers, it's Cable, and that makes the story a little more interesting
He
too.
could come in and just punch Steve Rogers in the face like, "You're fake."
I've always been a big Cable fan.
Great Cable X-Force. I don't remember but Nick Spurrier. The stuff that Nick Spurrier did was the best X-Force. Probably some of the best X titles in the past, an X title in the past 5 years. Definitely worth checking out, for Nick Spurrier.
All right.
Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, Uncanny X-Men's last one is #15 that's coming out, and then we move on to Independence with Rob.
There's not a whole lot of independents coming out that we got Shipwreck number 2.
I'll vouch for that. That's a pretty cool.
That's a
book.
Warren Ellis book. I haven't read it. Jonathan Shipwright learns about death on the endless road he's trapped on, and that more people know his final secret than he believed. He's going to be hunted for the very night, for the very thing that trapped him on the road and on this planet. I think it's
sounds
definitely
good. Sounds
it's a
good.
book that's worth checking out.
We still have a number 1 too.
Yep, we still have a copy of number 1. Boom Studios, the cover for this is super cool. It's not a comic that I would buy,
Yeah, we don't have to get too deep into it.
but
The name says itself.
yeah, WWE then, now, forever, number 1.
And they get some cool variants. The Undertaker variant by Fraser Irving, I
Yeah,
thought was
that-
really
Maybe we
cool.
should get a few of those for the wrestling fans. We
Oh,
get.
definitely.
Now these are the Dynamite is putting out the most exciting books next week. James Bond 11. We're gonna get chapter 5 of
Eidolon?
Eidolon.
Idle.
Just connected to Spectre.
Yeah, that's the book that Warren Ellis was born to write. How come he hasn't been doing this for years? I don't know. But
The story's got a really cool concept. It's like Spectre's infiltrated MI5.
Yeah, it
Like some like rogue group thing.
Well,
trying to-
MI5 is like the FBI, and MI6 is like the CIA.
Yeah.
Which Bond is obviously MI6. So
Yeah.
they can't, just like the FBI,
can't, yeah.
the CIA, they're not allowed to work within, the British. They have. It's all about
they're
outside
all
of the
their own
government.
spy. Yeah, they're all
yeah,
their
they're all
own
their own
spy
agencies.
So it's like if MI5 is infiltrated and doing things, and MI6 really doesn't have the authority to investigate because
Yeah.
it's within.
That's why
Britain.
Bond's on a black book thing. Like,
Yes.
he's like, you are not being supported at all. We support you, but you're not.
And as excited I was that Warren Ellis was doing a James Bond book, even more excited, Andy Diggle's James Bond Hammerhead number 2. If we could get an Ed Brubaker in there.
No,
my
oh
God.
man, he'd be perfect.
Give it time. It might come.
Assigned to hunt down and eliminate terrorists threatening Britain's nuclear deterrent, 007 shadows the nation's leading defense contractor at the Dubai Arms Fair. As a lethal trap is sprung around him, Bond finds an unexpected ally in glamorous arms company executive Victoria Hunt. So, I mean, you have
It's the classic Bond.
yeah, you
setting.
have the classics, stirred, not shaken martini Bond with the sexy lady.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
You couldn't really. I mean, you got Warren Ellis on one, Andy Diggle on the other. It's
yeah.
You can't go wrong.
There is.
No.
They are going to do another miniseries
James Robinson.
with James Robinson. Yeah. And then they're putting out Lone Ranger, Green Hornet number 5. IDW has Adventures of Augusta Wynn, Volume 2, the last story, number 4 of 6. Back to the Future, number 14. Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures, number 1 of 6.
Both animated series.
Yeah, and I'm kind of looking for, because I get a lot of people come in and what is a good Batman comic for kids?
Bingo.
And the other
Perfect.
day I could not find the Batman Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover, but
He
now
sold
we have.
out. We could not keep that comic on
Yeah,
the shelf.
it's
good
beautiful art. Dirt Gently, The Salmon of Doubt, number 2. Star Trek Boldly Go, number 2. Star Trek Volume 13. Who Killed Kurt Cobain? The Story of Boda hardcover.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's there's another title.
Skip to the
Skip
end.
to the end. It's not Kurt Cobain, but it is Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
like it's
right.
obvious. And then there's even another one called Rock Stars that are coming out that looks really good. It's like combines all the conspiracies of like the death of rock stars.
I used to have the old rock and roll comics Nirvana issue.
I never had the Nirvana one, but I got a bunch of them at home.
What else we got?
X-Files Volume 1 Revival from Image Comics. This is a book I've been picking up, but I haven't read yet. Cannibal number 2 is coming out. Casanova, Acadia number 7. Fuse number 23. Glitter Bomb, that's a really good book. This is probably the most exciting one from Image coming out. Green Valley number 2.
Yes.
I picked that up. You
Max
recommended that.
Landis's Epic Adventure continues.
And it's kind of that Knights of the Round Table kind of thing, which I'm not that into.
I know,
But by the
it's
time
like-
you get to the end of
Oh,
that
I'm-
book, it's like I am so
Oh, this is
sold
my
on
this is my bread and butter. This
yeah,
is what I went to school
I knew
for.
you would
This is-
like it.
Max Landis is a very good writer. I loved Superman American Hero.
Then you would like Skyborn.
I probably would.
So
I'm going to run through this because there's so much DC to get through this. Island number 12, Mice Templar Volume 5, trade paperback, No Mercy number 11, And another book that I'm looking forward to like reading, Violent Love #1, American Southwest, and then they fell in love. Join Frank J. Barberi, who did 5 Ghosts and The Revisionist, and Victor Santos of The Mice Templar and Polar for a pulp-infused criminal romance oozing with style and action. See, pulp's my thing.
Like true romance is almost the kind of feel that it seems to have.
Yeah. All right, now we got DC.
DC was so hard because, you know, I had another one to pick, and it's always between action and Wonder Woman. I don't think I'll slide over action, although I will mention the new storylines Men of Steel Part 1 and Lex Luthor's Under Attack.
This is Lex Luthor's story, finally.
Yeah. It's Action Comics 967, one of the best books coming out, period. Definitely one of DC's best.
Definitely.
Another one of DC's best is All-Star Batman #4. It's my own worst enemy
That
#4.
is so good.
I'd love to talk more about it, but if you haven't caught up, I even if you've waited this long to catch up, I still don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Batgirl and the Birds of Prey #4. We got Clean Room #13 from Vertigo. DC Comics, Dark Horse Comics, Justice League Volume 1 trade paperback. I don't know why Dark Horse is in that. Deathstroke #6. You wanted to talk about that, didn't you?
Deathstroke is really good. I forget who's writing it right now.
Christopher Priest.
Yeah, Christopher Priest. He's getting ready to do a run against Superman again. He's going to run into Superman again.
Nice.
And he's actually looking for his children.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the solicit even says something about inner Jericho. So
Jericho is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I was
characters.
gonna say that's exactly what the person in Jericho. He has a daughter too, wasn't she?
She was in this current story.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rose.
Rose,
She used to
yeah.
be in Ravager's her name. She used to be a Teen Titan, and they've kept that. Like she still mentioned that she knew Dick Grayson. It was a pretty cool run-in with Batman in the last issue. I love
Yes.
this comic. It's one of the ones that I couldn't put it down. We got Detective Comics #944, The Victim Syndicate Part 2. That has been a very interesting story. I'm going to cover that some other time. Doom Patrol #3, Earth 2 Society #18. Can't believe that's still going. Flash #10.
I think that's
Speed
the
of
last
Darkness.
issue.
Oh, yeah?
It's the last issue.
Not Flash though.
No, of
was
the,
like-
last issue of The Flash, #9, they left a little hint that the original Jay Garrick with the old school
Yeah,
Mercury
the
helmet's
Mercury
coming
helmet.
back.
That looked awesome. That was great.
yeah.
I did like the new 52 revamped look, but let's see, Gotham Academy second semester #3. This was good. Green Lantern Corps, Edge of Oblivion trade paperback written by Tom Taylor, one of the best writers out there as far as the new guys go. Another killer book, to my surprise, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps #8. It's the beginning of a new storyline called Bottled Light. Lost Boys #2 of 6. Anybody get to read that one
I
yet?
haven't read it.
Man.
Mother Panic #1 coming from the Young Animals section.
Probably
New
gonna
Superman
pass
#5.
over that. I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable with Gerard Way, like as a writer. He hasn't. Yeah.
I liked his Doom Patrol, but it's still. I mean, I've got Grant Morrison's. I don't need
Yeah,
more.
I know exactly.
Red Hood and the Outlaws #4. I'm looking forward to this because I'll be getting this one. Sandman Overture trade paperback. Scooby Apocalypse #7. Space Ghost trade paperback new edition. Sugar and Spike Metahuman Investigations. Supergirl #3, which is also a good book. Had to drop it because I just don't have the money for everything. I was like, I'm not as big a fan of the art, so I'll let this one go. Superwoman #4. Heard a lot of good
Another
stuff
good
about
one. That
this.
was getting
Time
pretty
in with
big
action.
demand. Yeah.
Yeah,
seen a lot of
it's
people-
been pretty good. Super.
I've had a lot of people ask for that.
And my other pick, Wonder Woman #10, Year 1, Part 5. The world is finally introduced to the Wonder Woman and adversaries, both ancient and new. Take note, the story was previously scheduled to be in issue 8. Greg Rucka, man, like
He's killing it.
him and Brian Azzarello
I
and
see
George
you read a book.
Perez. That's the be all end all of Wonder Woman writers. And this is Greg Rucka's second stint. So he knows the character very well. He even brought a character from his original run, which we did have the trade. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure we
we
still
sold
do. We did?
Yeah, it's not.
Oh no!
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's
Well, we
Go
know what
figure.
time it is now.
time for the vault.
The vault.
Let's see, Jesse.
I
We
picked
got a double vault here.
This one here, I dug this out from our own collection here. It's Mighty Thor, #122, Journey into Mystery. Now, this one, it's not any like spectacular. It's not like a first appearance or anything like that. Nothing too special. But the reason this one's so kind of collectible, this is in fantastic condition. This is like kind of the best. This is the kind of condition you want a comic to come in.
And it's very early Thor.
Very early Thor. This is, you said, I remember you telling me about this. This was a transition between, like you said, like the original Thor title and Mighty Thor.
A lot of characters, especially back in those days, like Superman, action comics, Batman, detective comics. Well, with Marvel, you had Journey into Mystery, Astonishing Tales.
Awesome Odin.
Yeah, you have Odin. I mean, look at the cover of that. Odin just being like imposing as anything. Just like, I mean, like he's in his throne. He's in his power.
Thor debuted in Journey into Mystery, and eventually it just became the Mighty Thor.
Pretty much.
And they brought Journey into Mystery back later and renumbered it, but that was kind of that transition from going to be Journey.
So
into
one of those
Mystery
kind of
to
like
the Mighty
crucial,
Thor.
harder to find ones. Nice.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Iron Man. Iron Man was Tales to Astonish,
Yep.
I believe. Yeah.
A lot of the
Captain
characters-
America was as well.
Yeah.
Right?
And then
A
they
lot
got
of
their
the
own
it was
independent
Spider-Man. You know, he didn't debut in Spider-Man.
No.
It was Amazing Stories or something like
Amazing
that.
Fantasy.
Amazing
for 15.
Fantasy.
Definitely one to look out for. And we've
Plus,
got it
the
here.
thing that's really cool is that is a Stan Lee and Jack Kirby issue.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, like that's like one of the classic duos.
Yeah, I mean that's the A team of Marvel and most every creation they had.
We've got a price for $110. Pretty nice issue though. Very good. Now, Russ, you brought along a little bit.
I brought my what I call my
You
Holy
found
Grail?
a unicorn.
You found a
You found a unicorn.
You found
my holy grail, I guess you could call it. It's Justice League number 55. It's an appearance of Dick Grayson
Grayson.
as Batman.
This is the first time in Justice League of America, right?
Yes.
Which is, I mean, that's a good. That's a collector thing. It's a first appearance.
It's also written by one of DC's greatest writers and that created a ton of characters, Gardner Fox.
There's something cool about this too, and it's an advertisement. Back when Mattel was making machine
They
guns.
did used to make those, didn't they?
Yeah, like this M16 Marauder, and yeah,
I love those things when I was a kid. It had
that was
little
back in the
gear
good
there.
old days before they started messing with the Second Amendment. I'm kidding. I don't.
And the thing about this comic too, it's wider and longer than a regular comic.
Yeah, like if you try to compare, you know, this comic with that, you can tell.
Yeah,
like, there's-
they've shrunk. Golden Age comics are really big, and then Silver Age were a little bigger, and then it moved down to Modern Age.
This came out during the Silver Age, but it's a Golden Age size book.
Yeah.
And
still pretty
really,
awesome.
it's really cool. Like, yeah, I mean, just the whole Dick Grayson is. I love the little
The
Robinson,
R, yeah.
with the bat wings on it. But I mean, this would come to
And
fruition
he-
later
and-
on as like Nightwing.
The other thing is too, he's in the Justice Society
yeah.
in this book also.
Yeah, I noticed that had a lot of the Justice Society members like Wildcat and there's an Hour Man right there.
And it's I guess kind of starts the whole argument like if Bruce Wayne was no longer Batman, a lot of people would think that Dick Grayson would take over, but I think that would be a mistake just because he's his own character in Nightwing. I would give it to his son or some people say Jason Todd.
No.
I don't know.
Tim Drake, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's Dick Grayson in the sense that Bruce Wayne's never going to stay away. So if anybody's going to fill in his shoes while waiting for him to come back, Dick Grayson. And they did a great run with that during the Batman Reborn. There was a great story with Judd Winnick where Two-Face could just tell that it wasn't the same Batman, and he had a pretty nice little scheme there. It was like the first story they told after Batman's death.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely did their great Batman and Robin run. And one of the best Dick Grayson Batman stories was written by Scott Snyder, and the art was Jacques and Francisco Francavilla.
Which we're getting both of them in All-Star Batman. coming up.
Excellent
Yeah.
stuff.
That's one of the
Man,
reasons it's
that's
so good.
Two great artists. I mean, Jock and Andy Diggle, but then Jock and Scott Snyder, man, those are two awesome combinations.
Scott Snyder with just about anybody's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
even you know how much I do not like James Romita or
John
Romita Jr. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those
Names
days.
are hard.
Yeah.
Now, we will say
and
this,
It's really great.
Now we're not selling that comic.
No, this is not for sale.
This is Russ's own comic.
But
it's
we like
kind
to
of-
take this moment to talk about history of comics. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice to see this sort of thing, especially because there's a new Justice League of America that's going to be coming out sooner or later. So comics like
It's
these,
almost like Batman Suicide Squad.
in a way,
Yeah.
yeah. So seeing comics like this is kind of cool because you get to see that piece of history where stuff like this originated from.
Exactly, and I'm a big. That's where I get to be the biggest geek. I really love history of comics because
History's
it's always
great.
been a reflection of society.
History's great. It's always good to have that. I mean,
Read Grant Morrison's book Super Gods.
Yeah, it's almost required reading. I'm in the middle of it, so
It is an excellent book. It's
it
almost
really is. It's required reading.
it's a comic book bible.
Now, if you do come in here, though, I mean, comics like I just showed you, the Mighty Thor and everything, we have those locked away, but you can get them on discount if you sign up for a file subscription with us. If you got 5 or more titles on your subscription, you get 25% off your comics every time. That's current issues, back issues, Silver Age comics like this beauty, stuff like that, all 25% off. And then Money Tree's 10% off over there. So I mean, even
Yes.
more comics. They got tons of back issues there.
Yeah,
So-
they've got a good selection. I love going over there and picking stuff out.
So for all about the 7 or 8 people who are watching this, please sign up if
Yes.
you're not already.
All 19.
I will vouch. It's a great deal. So
It's,
I mean, you got Russ here vouching for it, so.
it's one of the reasons I get to read so much.
It's
Exactly,
almost buy
it
two.
knows.
It's pretty much buy two get one free.
It
Yeah.
pretty much is.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean, a
really-
lot of people
it's
that
helpful.
signed up usually go for the 5 titles because they're like, man, you can't beat that.
well,
deal."
and for me, I usually pick up every 2 weeks. So I mean, I'm getting a stock.
Each time.
Each
but
time.
you're getting 25%.
Yeah, and I'm
off.
getting the 25%.
So it's like
off.
you're almost like taking off a portion of it and you're
Right.
only paying for that other rest.
Well, I mean, it also works on graphic novels or if you're buying supplies. Like, hey, if you're going to buy supplies, why not give the people who've signed up for 5 or more get a little bit of a discount on it?
Exactly. I mean, like, you can't go wrong.
We're here to support your comic book habit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
First time's free, boys.
you got to pay when you come back for more.
This is Aaron.
This is Robert.
I'm Jesse, and this is Russ.
I'm fanboy Russ.
We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Pushing man.